location will fill anyone's appetite for adventure. As you eat your way across Vancouver, you can burn carbs while exploring Gastown, Kitsilano,
Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo desse canal. Nós somos cidadãos de terceiro mundo e nesse canal nós reagimos ao Canadá. Nesse vídeo nós vamos reagir às melhores cidades no Canadá para a sua próxima viagem.
Portanto, aproveite a oportunidade, considere se inscrever no nosso canal, clique no gostei, compartilhe esse vídeo e deixe mais sugestões nos comentários. E agora, vamos para a reação.
Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 cities in Canada for your next trip. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at cities that put the great in the Great White North. Number 10, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Although it's the largest city of this eastern province, St. John's possesses a small-town charm with its jelly bean-colored houses and welcoming harbor. As one of North America's oldest known cities, citizens have striven to preserve historic landmarks, like Cabot Tower atop Signal Hill. The Rooms is the port city's cultural apex, housing artwork, dioramas, and historical documents. The structure's design is also rooted in the city's origins in fishing villages. As striking as the architecture is, it's the natural features that make St. John's one of Canada's most underappreciated cities. Whether you're observing from a hilltop or driving by the coast, St. John's is draped in splendid seaside views. Taking a boat tour, you might be lucky enough to spot humpback whales and icebergs. Number 9, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Manitoba's largest city gets its name from Lake Winnipeg. While having the lake nearby is convenient, it's far from the city's only draw. Winnipeg is perhaps most famous for the Forks, which brings in 4 million people annually with its shopping, dining, and entertainment venues. It's also home to Canada's largest urban skate plaza. Next to the Forks, you'll find the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, which will allure you with its unique exterior, but with fascinating and important history inside. The areas around Winnipeg abound in natural beauty too, especially during the summers when the mustard fields are at their peak. Number 8, Victoria.
Estou impressionada como vemos duas cidades que são totalmente diferentes uma da outra e são totalmente lindas.
Sim, são cidades muito bonitas e chama muito a minha atenção que não tem apenas o fator histórico, né, devido às suas construções antigas, mas também coisas que tem para se fazer nesses lugares. A gente vai chegar, são 10 dicas, a gente está chegando na 8ª dica aqui, na 3ª dica no caso, e é incrível como tem coisas para se fazer nesses lugares, é impressionante.
Victoria, British Columbia. Located by the southern edge of Vancouver Island, Victoria inhabits a sort of middle ground between the modern comfort of Canada and the old-time style of Britain. Deriving its name from Queen Victoria, this city has several landmarks that wouldn't look out of place in the UK. Of course, there's the Royal British Columbia Museum, which takes visitors on a journey through the province's long, complicated, and fascinating history. And yes, Queen Elizabeth II herself signed off on its royal status. You'll find more regal sites at Craigdarroch Castle, Beacon Hill Park, and the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. And given the city's British background, be sure to stop for a spot of tea. Number 7, Ottawa, Ontario. If you're looking to study abroad in Canada, Ottawa is definitely a place to keep in mind. From the University of Ottawa to Carleton University, this capital city of Canada is known for its educational scene. Even if you're not a student, there's plenty of venues to stimulate one's mind. You'll find museums dedicated to agriculture, technology, and Canadian history, among numerous others. Ottawa is also a hub for creativity, particularly the National Arts Centre Orchestra and the National Gallery of Canada. Whether you're
Veja, mais coisas para se fazer. Então, os lugares assim tem muitas coisas para se fazer. Isso, obviamente, é muito interessante, né, para quem realmente quer viajar e é um turista, mas também é essencial para quem mora nesses lugares, porque você sempre tem muita atividade, coisas para se fazer, seja em coletivos, de maneiras individuais. No caso, por exemplo, passear por alguma floresta ou um parque. Então, realmente são lugares muito, muito interessantes.
É verdade, são lugares que você não vai ficar entediado nunca, porque sempre tem coisa para fazer.
Interested in pursuing a career in architecture or government, Parliament Hill is another must visit. The most essential destination is the Rideau Canal, where you can master your skating skills in the winter and your boating skills when the ice melts. Number 6, Calgary, Alberta. For nearly a decade, Calgary has been in contention for the Economist Intelligence Unit's most livable North American cities. On occasion, it's even come out on top. Despite some more recent economic travails, there's an undeniable Western charm to Calgary, earning it nicknames like Cowtown and the Stampede City. The city is known for the Calgary Stampede, which was established as a rodeo and festival in 1912.
Eu não sabia que eles tinham
Calgary
isso.
provides classic natural Western backdrops as well, from the riverside views at Princess Island Park to the plains of Nose Hill Park. To experience the urban side of the city, there isn't a more fetching vantage point than atop Calgary Tower. As a memento to remember your trip, pick out a cowboy hat that calls to you. Number 5.
Realmente é um país que tem muitas culturas, porque você vê que agora a gente viu isso dos cowboys. Eu não sabia que tinha isso lá. Não sabia que era uma coisa assim que fosse tão forte desse jeito. Estou impressionada.
Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you want to spend your vacation surrounded by views of the water, the Halifax Regional Municipality delivers in more ways than one. Nova Scotia's capital has a variety of coastal locales, each presenting Halifax in a different light. Peggy's Cove at St. Margaret's Bay brings out Halifax's rural appeal with its signature lighthouse and rustic homes. For a taste of urban life, take a ferry ride in downtown Halifax. While you're down there, chow down at one of Halifax's many seafood restaurants. You can't go wrong with a lobster dinner by the waterfront. Visitors can also let their feet drag in the sand as they walk along the lengthy coasts of Martinique Beach, Crystal Crescent Beach, or Taylor Head Beach. Number 4. Quebec City, Quebec. Quebec is among North America's oldest cities, and its roots can be seen and experienced in its historic architecture, quaint shops, and enchanting outdoor venues. While we can't say that it outshines France, Quebec deserves to be mentioned in the same sentence. Even if you can't book a reservation, the Chateau Frontenac Hotel is just one of the numerous landmarks where you can create Instagrammable memories. Old Quebec feels untouched by time, with buildings ranging from the 17th to the 19th century, being named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. And while Quebec has a lot of urban charms, it's not without nearby natural wonders like Montmorency Falls and the St. Lawrence River. Driving across the Pierre-Laporte Bridge, it becomes apparent that you're in a magical place. Number 3. Toronto, Ontario. We the North. Right after Los Angeles and the Big Apple, Toronto is the place to be for film and TV production. It even hosts one of the industry's premier film festivals. Slumdog Millionaire, La La Land, and Jojo Rabbit are just some of the films from TIFF that went on to score Oscars. But of course, Toronto isn't just for cinephiles. As Canada's most populous city, not to mention one of its most multicultural, there's something for everyone. Sports fans can catch a game at BMO Field, foodies can enjoy a meal with a view at CN Tower, and animal lovers can observe more than 450 species at the Toronto Zoo. For an activity that will appeal to the whole family, watching the cherry blossoms is a long-standing Toronto tradition. Number 2. Montreal, Quebec. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that WatchMojo's headquarters is based in Montreal. That's hardly the reason why Montreal ranks so high, but we know from first-hand experience that this is a wonderful place to live and visit in so many ways. The city is home to one of the most gorgeous structures in Canada, Notre Dame Basilica. It's an architectural marvel, especially when it's decked out in lights. It's even well worth a comparison to the legendary Notre Dame de Paris. And of course, Quebec is indeed a province that lives in French. Although in cosmopolitan Montreal, you'll find that many, if not most residents, are fluent in both English and French. While Old Montreal, as in Quebec City, is reminiscent of classic Europe, The city as a whole is loaded with distinct tourist-friendly landmarks like the Biosphere and Mount Royal. Montreal has an identity that's all its own. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Few Canadian cities are sunnier. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. For oysters and seaside views. Number 1, Vancouver, British Columbia. If there's one thing Canada is renowned for, it's being polite and friendly to visitors. And no city is more neighborly than Vancouver, which is also wonderfully diverse. By bringing together so many people from different backgrounds, Vancouver is abuzz with a wide array of different cultures and flavors. We can't stress that last one enough, as Vancouver's food scene will fill anyone's appetite for adventure. As you eat your way across Vancouver, you can burn carbs while exploring Gastown, Kitsilano, Chinatown, and other amazing neighborhoods. And Vancouver strikes the perfect balance between urban playground and outdoor paradise, with plentiful mountains looming near the city. So you can get your fill of active adventure anytime.
Que lugar incrível! Devo dizer que estou impressionada com o quão bonito são as cidades canadenses. E você prestou atenção num detalhe que lá tem muitos lagos, né? Em vários lugares tem lagos. Estou impressionada porque eu não sabia que lá tinha essa abundância assim, de água.
Eu também estou impressionado. O que realmente me surpreendeu muito são justamente esse ponto que eu havia mencionado, são lugares que são não apenas bonitos em relação à natureza, em relação às arquiteturas de cada lugar, que é muito diferente uma da outra.
Sim, isso que eu ia comentar também, que eu fico impressionada com a criatividade da arquitetura nessa coisa urbana deles, porque é muito diferente, né? É moderno, é diferente.
E outra coisa, né, que influencia muito essa questão da arquitetura é a forte influência que o Canadá tem em relação a muitas culturas diferentes. Então, isso acaba sendo inserido de alguma maneira no Canadá, que torna realmente um lugar muito diferente. Mas outra coisa que eu ia comentar é que não é apenas a questão arquitetônica e da natureza, mas e que tem muitas coisas para serem feitas nesses lugares, muitos lugares para se visitar, muitos parques também, mas também muitos estabelecimentos que são extremamente interessantes e muito convidativos também. Então, realmente é um lugar impressionante.
Sem dúvidas, mas essa foi a reação desse vídeo. Então, se você gostou, aproveita para se inscrever, ative as notificações e também deixe mais sugestões aqui embaixo nos comentários.
Muito obrigado por assistir esse vídeo e a gente se vê na próxima reação.